Okay, so as you can see, I'm in a, well, very amazing seed right now that I found off of Instagram Reels. Now, this is obviously going to be a Christmas build. Because it is close to Christmas time. I'm already in my Christmas skin. I do not care if it's November, okay? I do not have a Thanksgiving skin. So, we're stuck with this one. Now, I have a wheel here on my phone, and it has a bunch of different themes on it. So, there's a candy cane theme, blue, which kind of like ice, white, red and green, plain red, plain green, and present. If it's present, then I'm building a giant house that looks like a present box. So I'm gonna spin the wheel, and there's two options. I do the first one it lands on, or I spin until there's only one option left. We will see, because if I want to do it whether or not. I don't know what I'm doing yet. So I spun the wheel, and the winner is red and green theme. And of course, I can do other builds as well on this huge, massive lake, because obviously there's mountains, and I am not terraforming anything. Now, I do have add-ons to make this a bit better, so we're doing red and green. So, obviously, I need red and green blocks. Let me turn my phone down, because I have TikTok playing. And let me move my bag of popcorn that's gonna fall on my floor that I will have to clean, and I will hate it. Okay, so first what I do is with every build I use concrete to outline everything. I'm not gonna use the red and green concrete right now because obviously need that for the build. Now, where do I want to... We'll do the build right over here. Okay. So, we're doing a red and green house build. So, gray will symbolize red. So, let's do 4. That way we can have 2 windows. And we'll use orange as, like, where we'd put, like, if we use logs. Because I do that a lot of my builds to add depth. So we'll go like this, and then we'll have a log in the middle. And then we'll do... Should we do a porch? No, we won't make this one an elevated house. We'll make the next Christmas build an elevated house. So... I want 2 doors. And then we're gonna go 3. And then, whoops, we'll have a window here. Okay. Now, I like generally to have 2 windows on both sides in the front. Which it does make the houses pretty big. But it is just how I prefer to build. And I'm trying not to make these, like, huge houses. Just so we can add more and make this a little Christmas area. Okay, so now we have this front wall built. Or, well, laid out. And we'll figure out where we're putting the green here in a minute. But I definitely think we might do red walls, and then, as I've already said, I have add-ons, as you can see by those trees there, because I obviously did not build that, because I literally just made this world. And as you can see, you already saw sconces and everything. Okay. So, we'll have a space in between. And... it'll go like that, I believe. Now, I've never done a full house layout before, really. But, let me make sure I got that right. No, I don't. Okay. Hang on. I have to get this right or else it's going to bug me. Okay, so 2 windows. Oh, that's my problem. I only have 1 window over here. Okay. So that's my problem. Okay, that's window 1. We need window 2. And then... I know I said I wasn't going to make these big houses, but that already looks like pretty big. Like, right? Okay, so maybe not put this here. So we'll do it like that. So it's not an overly big house, but, you know, it looks decent. Okay. Now, I think we might do 3 windows over here, because that's obviously a very tiny but long house. And, you know, we don't really want a weird looking house. Make it look like that. Or should we add one more? No, that might be a decently sized house. And then it can have like a little back area for trees. Right? 3 windows should be good, right? I think it should be. We'll do the green as like the floor. So like, there we go, floor. Because obviously we're not going to keep the floor as ice. That's kind of ridiculous. I mean, I think some people would find it cool, like, oh my god, you can see, you know, the glow squid underneath your feet as you're walking around your house. I don't particularly like that. So, okay. There we go. And as you can see, there's lag. Because I've very obviously destroyed that block. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I think this is going to be the design we go for with the house. Now, obviously, we're not going to have like a back door here, so that will be another window. This feels too skinny to me. I don't like how skinny this is. We're gonna make it go out more, I think. By like 1 more window. Because I don't like how skinny this is. I can't do skinny houses. I don't know why. I just can't. Now, while I do have add-ons or mods or whatever you want to call them, they're basically the same thing. I am going to leave, of course, vanilla Minecraft stuff in. Just because you can't really do any of that stuff with the actual mods. Add-ons. Whatever you want to call them. I call them by both. So if you hear me say add-on and then mod, I'm literally... It's very obvious which one I'm talking about since I'm on Bedrock. Okay, now we're going to redo what we had been doing. But, obviously, you know... Okay, yeah, that's even. If it's not even, I'm, like, actually going to rage and basically blow this up, and then I'll have to go and I'll have to redo what I've already done. On a completely new world. And with this many add-ons, even though it's not technically a lot, it is still very slow to load the world. So... that's not really something I want to go through. If I go quiet, it's because I'm focusing. Hang on. I did something wrong here. Okay, this here. Space 2. That's what I did wrong. Okay, I was just missing a block. There we go. And if I randomly cough, it's because my voice... It's because my throat's dry. I have a really bad immune system, and I've already been sick, like, several times, so... Okay, hang on. What did I mess up here? You might see what I messed up. I'm very dumb. I'm very blind. Okay. That's supposed to be a window. I've messed something up. Hang on. Okay. Hang on. 1, 2... Okay, here we go. Okay, hang on. So this is supposed to be... Hang on, I messed something up again. Okay, you're like that. We have 1, 2... 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. Also, if I go quiet and if I'm just like completely still like I'm AFK, it is because I am answering text messages. Just because I'm trying to be better of not ignoring my messages while I am on games. Which of course will completely ruin my train of thought and focus, but... Okay. So, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna find the blocks that we're actually gonna use for this. We're gonna put them in a chest. And if I'm happy with this design, then we're gonna go ahead and start building. I'm not gonna do a full layout with the concrete just because then I'll confuse myself and I don't want to have to break like an entire outline. But I think we're roughly gonna do this. If we do one floor, it's roughly just gonna be about 5 blocks tall, 6 blocks maybe. But I typically do 2 floors, so of course they'd both be about the same height, which then makes them big houses, not including how I do my roofs. Now, my house on the realm is not how I always do my roof, but in the situation of how I had my house built, specifically the walls, my chair just went down. I had to improvise on my roof. And of course that was very difficult in survival alone, but I don't think I could have done something like that in creative either, because I did mess up a lot in survival. And in creative, I just messed up more than I normally do. So, while it's easier in creative to take care of than it is survival, because I don't have to worry about durability of tools or my resources, it is still very exhausting. And especially at this hour, because it is very late into the morning. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get a chest. And we're going to put down, we're going to go and get the blocks that we're going to use. So our colors are red and green. It's red and green theme. So let me grab a sign just so I can, you know, remind myself of what our theme is. We're going to use the pale oak sign. In it. So we can use red and green. In some cases, like the pale oak a little bit, just for it's not, you know, overly one thing. So of course we're going to first go and look at the red blocks. Now, we're not going to touch any decoration blocks like beds or these chairs or the curtains and the stools and the sofas. We're not going to touch wool. We're just going to look through and see what red blocks we have. This is really a deep red, and I don't want to use the redwood planks or the dawn redwood because that is very obviously an orange. So that's not really going to help. And if we search green, it's not going to do too much either. So we're going to go to the nature section. We're going to go and look at logs. Now, I don't really use planks on my houses aside from flooring. But I think in this case, we will use a mix of the stripped wood and the planks. I have done that before, and it has turned out really well. It just depends on the wood you use. So, I think we're going to use the stripped acer wood, but of course we're not going to use the logs. We're going to use this, because that is a bright red. And right now, we're not going to grab any of the green, we're just going to grab the red. So, because I'm using that, I don't really want to use, the deeper red, but I might. I'm not going to use the redwood, though. Sweet cherry's kind of like a pink, so I might use the mangrove. We'll see how they all look together. And then we'll decide from there. So, of course, we're using this. And then there's... Obviously, these two match very well in color. This is very more of a pinkish, and then, of course, redwood's very much a darker. There's also the mangrove, which is kind of in between the redwood and the cherry. I know with the shaders, they don't look that much different. They don't look different at all. But obviously here you can tell this one's a bit deeper. I don't think I'm going to use either of these. I think I will stick with the acer planks. I haven't decided what we're going to do the bottom as, because I don't know if I want to do that as just red. But here are our red building blocks, because I don't believe we'll use concrete. Now we need to move on to the green. Now, we're not going to use bamboo, obviously. And as you can see, with my add-ons, I have a ton of different woods. So, there are several green woods. So, we have the stripped avocado, we have stripped cactus, and stripped juniper. And these are the green woods that we have. Now, of course, there's not any that, match my little sweater on my skin. So, we have to decide which of the stripped woods we are going to use first. I think the juniper's a bit too bright. That's more of a springy color. So, we're going to throw the juniper out of the mix. So, now it's between avocado and cactus. And cactus kind of matches the sweater more, because it is a deeper green, and my sweater is mainly deeper greens. And Christmas colors are mainly a very bright but red and a deeper green. So we are going to go with the cactus. So let's throw that out. Okay, I thought that was me that killed the fox. So we're going to go with the stripped cactus wood and get that avocado wood out of here. Okay, so now we have the box that we are using for our walls and floor. Now we need to decide which stumps we're going to use. And I'd already decided I was going to use the green wood. But it depends on how it looks on the outside. So, I really don't want to go through this. I mean, I can look at the tops and obviously tell which wood goes with which. But look at the cactus log. It looks terrible. So, I am going to use, I think, if I really want that wood texture, we might do the juniper one. Let's see which one looks better. I think where I'm doing mostly deeper colors, I want to stick the logs to make them brighter. That way it's, you know, popping out. Okay, so those are the blocks for our walls and floors. Now, we're going to have to decide furniture. So, I obviously have, I don't think I have furniture here. Nope. Furniture. I don't know which thing the beds are in, so we're just going to type in beds. Or bed. Now, obviously, I have a wide assortment of beds from the add-on, the DecoCraft. Well, no, this is, yeah, DecoCraft and furniture add-on. As well as the vanilla Minecraft beds. And under normal circumstances, I would choose the vanilla Minecraft beds, but I think today we are going for these beds. So we're going to type in red again, since our floors are green, and we're going to have a red bed. And since, of course, walls and floors are a bit darker, we're going to go for something a bit brighter, and we're going to do the spruce, since we're surrounded by spruce wood. Sofas, I think we will do a mix of red and green. If, of course, we get to that stage. So, red. I just did red. I am losing my mind. Green. We also have to decide windows. I just remembered that. Now, we're doing red bed. So, what we really just need is this green. And then we will decide the rest of the decorations later on. Or I will do that off camera. Because I don't want this video to be super long as my last one. And we'll do green windows. Just to go with the vibe. So there's some decoration blocks. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start replacing all this orange here. I'm not going to go all the way up yet just because I don't know how high I'm doing the walls. Like I said, I'm going to try to do them at least 5 blocks tall. But there's no promising that. Because we're also going to do lanterns. I don't really like most of the lights that come with this DecoCraft add-on. They just bug me. Because on Minecraft, I'm very OCD. I have to have things centered. As you can tell with the walls. Unless it's a very purposeful build in not making them centered. But I generally try to make everything centered. And we will add some grass around the house after we build and decorate the inside of the house and plant some trees around. And build little candy canes eventually after we get everything built. Well, no, we can't build candy canes. Or yes, we can. We can do the red and green candy canes. I prefer normal candy canes, honestly. They're, like, the best. Feel free to disagree with me. I don't care. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine. And I say normal candy canes are the best. Okay. So, we have all that switched out. Whoever's car that is really bugging my ears. Now, how we're going to do the walls is we're going to come in with the stripped Acer wood first. And something I'm going to do here, I don't really think you can tell through the walls, but I'm going to do it anyway, just in case, just to add more lighting, is in the corners I'm going to put frog lights, specifically, or no, we can't do that. I usually use the ochre ones, but it is a red and green build, so we have to use the green. I wonder if Mojang will add some other variant of frog lights. I've never personally gotten frog lights in survival just because I feel, as much as I love using them as lighting, I hate the sound. I'm not gonna drag a frog all the way to the nether to eat a magma cube and then wait for it to spit out one of these lights. And I think the type of light you get depends on the type of frog you bring, too, and I'm not hunting for a frog to get me a specific light. Or building a farm for it. I do not build farms in Minecraft other than for food. Mainly because that's, like, really difficult in survival, and, well, I don't do this by career. I want to do this for a career, but as everyone very well knows, it is very difficult to get your videos monetized on YouTube. You have to have, like, 10,000 subscribers and a certain amount of likes, and then you have to have a certain amount of likes per video and views per video in order to even start making money off of YouTube. And sadly, I don't have the time of day to sit there and make videos as much as I'd want to. Nor do I have the equipment for it or people to help me with it. There we go. If you hear anything playing in the background, I don't know if you will. I do have YouTube on in the background because I find it easier to do games if I have a noise in the background aside from horror games. Okay. Now we have freaking foxes everywhere. Now we have these down. Well, let's build them up higher. So I'm gonna do this for right now, but those will not sit there long. Okay, we want the windows to be too high, that way we can actually use, like, the curtains. So this is about as high as we're gonna make the build. For the first floor, anyway. I think we will end up doing more than one floor. Just because I don't like houses like this, normally. Sorry, I have, like, the same TikTok playing, and it gets annoying after the 10th time. I already have Webtoon. There we go. And we'll bring these up higher in a bit, but first we'll texturize our walls. Now we can't plant the trees where for, like, the wood we used for the floor because, you know, it's cactus. I don't know what the Acer tree looks like, so we'll test that somewhere before we decide whether or not we're going to plant it around the house. Because, of course, the tree's got to fit the theme, too. And, you know, each house will have its own theme. We currently have the red and green theme. For the candy cane theme, there will just be candy canes that I will build around, because obviously we can't have trees. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and break that. And this is as tall as our first floor is gonna be. Now we're gonna texturize the walls. Whoops, I did not mean to put that there. So this is how I basically texturize my walls. I mean, it's not, you know, the best method or the most effective, but it works well enough. Just break random blocks and then replace them. You can always texturize your walls however you want. This is how I choose to do it. Sorry, my throat's also really hurting me every time I talk for some reason. So like I said, this is already like a 30-minute video. No one wants to watch me build for like an hour. So I think every house will have to be like in different parts. And of course I will do some work off camera, just so not everything is being recorded. Because you can obviously see the process I'm doing right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish this process. And I might go ahead and build the second floor as well. I'm not gonna do any decorating off camera. I will save that for on camera. But I might do like the surrounding ground off camera. It just kind of depends. I might use the /fill commands because I do not have World Edit because this is Bedrock. And just go ahead and fill in the ground as grass or something. That way I'm actually able to plant stuff. So I don't know if I'll record it tonight or tomorrow before I go to work or after work. But there will be a part 2 to the red and green themed build. Every house will no doubt be in 1 to 2, either, none of them be in one part. It might be 2 parts, might be 3 parts. It just depends on whether or not I am sick, how tired I am, or how much time that I have. Because like I said, it is currently really late into the morning, or early, however you want to put it. Like midnight or so, kind of like late. And there's currently people over at my house, so, plus I can't really focus without my sound, so, I'm going to leave it here for now. I will be back with part 2, which will either be putting on the roof, or decorating the house. Probably putting on the roof and then decorating the house, just so I can show how I build my roofs. Thank you so much, and I will be back with part 2.